Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today we will be reading Proverbs 5. Don't forget to subscribe to A Note for God. Hit the subscribe button if you have not done so. Also, hit that like button if you're enjoying these early morning Proverbs reads. All right, let's get to it. By the way, this is a really good one. So let's get started. My son, pay attention to wisdom. Listen carefully to wise counsel. Then you will show discernment, and your lips will express what you've learned. For the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as poison, as dangerous as a double edged sword. Her feet go down to earth, her steps lead straight to the grave, for she cares nothing about the path to life. She staggers down a crooked trail and doesn't realize it. So now, my sons, listen to me. Never stray from what I'm about to say. Stay away from her. Don't go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor and you will lose the merciless people all that you have achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and someone else will enjoy the fruits of your labor. In the end, you will groan in anguish when disease consumes your body. You will say, "How I hated discipline. If only I had not ignored all the warnings. Oh, why didn't I listen to my teachers? Why didn't I pay attention to my instructors? I have come to the brink of utter ruin, and now I must face public disgrace." Drink water from your own well. Share your love only with your wife. Why spill the water of your spring in the streets, having sex with just anyone? You should reserve it for yourself. Never share with strangers. Let your wife be a fountain of blessing for you. Rejoice in the wife of your youth. She is a loving deer, a graceful doe. Let her breast satisfy you always. May you always be captivated by her love. Why be captivated by my son by an immoral woman, or fond of the breast of a promiscuous woman? For the Lord sees clearly what a man does, examining every path he takes. An evil man is held captive by his own sins. There are ropes that catch and hold him. He will die for the lack of self-control. He will be lost because of his great foolishness. And that, you guys, is Proverbs 5. Super short, but there's so much in there if you really pay attention to it. And he's really giving advice to his son about, stepping outside of his marriage or promiscuous women. It said she may be sweet as honey. She may be sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as poison. What is this leading you, right? Where is she taking you to? And in this part, basically, and you will lose the merciless people all you have achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and somebody else will enjoy the fruits of your labor. Basically, what I feel here, it doesn't go anywhere, right? You're not gonna have this beautiful story if this is the path you choose, to be with the promiscuous woman. And in this specific verse, share your love only with your wife. Why spill the water of your spring in the streets, having sex with just anyone? Right. That specific line. Share your love only with your wife. If you're married, right? This is if you're married. But even if let's talk about if you're married. If you're married, you stay within your marriage, right? You have a covenant, you form that covenant with your wife. Stay with your marriage, not commit adultery. Why go having sex with all these different types of women? Let your wife be the foundation of blessing for you. Rejoice in the wife you have of your youth. It kind of reminds me of the sermon we had on Sunday for church. Once we have this blessing, we've asking for a wife or a husband, and all of a sudden we start to curse that which was meant to be a blessing, right? Oh, because my wife is acting this way or whatever. It's having that examine yourself and saying, how can I make this better? Where am I lacking? Husband and wife, right? Let your wife be the foundation of blessing for your youth. And like I said, if you're not married, not fornicating, not having sex outside of marriage, waiting for the woman of God, man of God, um, in your life, right? Because been there, done that. That doesn't take you anywhere, right? But just create soul ties, which you do not want. May you always be captivated by her love. And this is something else I would write in my definitely write in my journal is even though he's talking to a son, it's like what would I be doing, if I were married? What am I doing to captivate my husband's love? Or even if you're a man, what are you doing to captivating her love? Right? Like, how are you continuing that romance, quote unquote, in your marriage, right? You just don't get married and then that's the end, right? You have to continue to build that romance in the relationship, or basically just showing appreciation and gratitude. Like, when was the last time, you showed appreciation and gratitude? Just to ask those questions internally. Sometimes the first thing we want to say is like, well, they don't show it. When was the last time they did it? But one of the things I learned with this walk with God is, let me examine myself first. When was the last time I showed appreciation? Right? Oh, well, I don't remember. Right? You start thinking about these things. You're like, well, the last time, I don't remember. And then you're like, wow, let me say something to my significant other of how I appreciate it. Or it's a simple, um, what favorite meal can you cook for dinner, right? Or, hey, um, the kids are playing in their room, so you can kind of relax. Us, you showing appreciation, right? And trust me, it will follow suit. But the thing is that if they doesn't follow suit immediately during your expectation, don't get irritated, right? Don't get irritated. I've been there, done that same thing. For the Lord seeks clearly what a man does. I love this sentence. The Lord sees clearly what a man does. We can't hide. We cannot hide a secret. We can't say we can definitely hide a secret from people out there. Husbands, you can hide your affair from your husband, from your wife, from your coworkers. You can hide your affairs, but the Lord sees it all, right? The Lord, like my son says, I see you. I see everything. Examining every path he takes. An evil man is held captive by his own sins. There are ropes that catch and hold him. He will die for the lack of self-control. He will be lost because of his great foolishness. I mean, this is a great Proverbs. Another thing I would love for you to do is, if you haven't done so, is download the Blue Letter Bible app on your phone. And then, because it's short, but there's so much in there, read the commentaries. I'm reading the commentary by David Guzik, and they break it down, right? My Bible has a little bit in the footnotes, but this actually breaks it down. And you're just reading, right? You're like, wow, okay, that's what it means. And your years to cruel adultery and sexual immorality ruins lives. God commands that our sexual relationship remain only in covenant of a marriage, was not given to taken away from our life and enjoyment, but to add it, right? So very true. And as you're reading, you're like, wow, that is true. God's command that our sexual relationship remain only in covenant of marriage was not given to taken away from our life, but enjoying. You're enjoying it, but in your marriage, not out there with everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, Let's be honest. So definitely download the Blue Letter download it. And then when he says here, when your flesh and body are consumed, sexual immorality leads to diseases and breaking down of health. Even the stress of living a double deceptive life is enough to take away one's health, which is stress. Um, these STDs are rampant on these streets, right? So it might be enjoyable for a second, you know, but you go to the doctor and all of a sudden you have an STD. Was it really worth it? And some of these STDs you can't get rid of, so before you go and doing the do, think about it, right? Definitely. As I'm reading a little bit here, but definitely download the Blue Letter Bible app. Like I said, the commentaries, I love it. Because it breaks it down specifically, like they break sentence for sentence and what it is, what it is. Um, as I'm reading, like, all right, so definitely download the Blue Letter Bible app. It is amazing. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, definitely hit that like button that you are enjoying it. Look up the words that you do not know. Like I said, rewrite the scripture, read the commentaries to learn a little bit. As a teacher, I would always say when you start writing things like copying, and even if you copy the whole thing or just a specific line that got your attention, you're gonna start remembering it more, right? As opposed to just reading and that's it. There's something to putting a pen, paper, and copying it, right? And see if there's a theme. We already know what the theme is, right? So if you are not if you should have your journal, and as you're writing Proverbs 5, the theme is immoral women. Just circle it, highlight it, and as you're skimming through your journal, it's going to trigger you to like, oh, immoral women. Everything that you wrote or you read is going to start. You're going to start remembering it. All right. And today's business of the day, which I love, because if you have kids like I do, I have a 5 and a 7-year-old. This epic program. It's an online program, reading program. You can download it to your phone. It's an app and laptop and stuff like that. What I love about this program is that some books read to your children, and then obviously your children read the books from there. You get to pick the books. You can assign books. Like you can have, like I have 2 different accounts, 2 different profiles, I should say, one for my son, one for my daughter. And every once in a while, I'll send them books to read. It gives you a breakdown. It tells you how much they're reading. It also has videos. I love it. I love it. And I believe if you click on the link below, you get a free month to try it out. There's so many things online that suck. And my kids, I'm very cautious of what they see. But this is one of the things that I really like. And there's some books that I'm like, no, but they don't click on them, so it's all good. But definitely the importance of reading. Sometimes my daughter, because she knows how to read a little bit more, she's like, I don't want to read. Well, here, just listen to the audio. And there's actually audiobooks there for little kids. And then the books are read to them. So at least she gets to hear the words, right? So definitely check it out. It's a link below. It's called Epic. And again, if you are enjoying these, let me go back here. If you are enjoying the Proverbs at 6 a.m., definitely hit that like button and subscribe, or just share the link out to any of your Facebook groups, or share it to anybody. Say, hey, I was thinking about you, or hey, she was talking about this when I thought about you. Definitely share it out. You guys have a fantastic Wednesday, and don't forget to reread this scripture and also spend some time in the Word. Have a good one.